Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth Untitled episode of the Sadistic Pixel Podcast. I guess that's what we're just referring to it as now.
Maybe one day we'll have a title.
That's
I
what
don't
we
know.
actually have a title.
But we're still untitled as of right now, so maybe we'll just keep it at that. Joining me again, flanking me to my right, are, of course, Zach Dickerson and John Allen. And to the left, the man that makes things happen, the unofficial Baldwin brother, Trevor Baldwin.
Good to be here.
And we're here again today to discuss 4 different topics with you, and just like they do on the Kind of Funny Gamescast and the Game Over Greggy show, they just like sit around, talk about 4 different topics. That's our main inspiration. That's what we do. So we have 4 different topics today, and check us out on our website, sadisticpixel.com.
Sadisticpixel.com.
Our YouTube page at youtube.com/sadisticpixel, and we make tons of videos. We hope you guys enjoy it, and we thank you all for all the support we've already gotten. It's great. I mean, we're already doing more than I thought we would.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We're only going to grow, and we want you guys to grow with us. We're only going to get better. I mean, this podcast is going to be better than last week's podcast, and last week's podcast was amazing. So, starting with that, we're going to head over to Mr. Baldwin over here, and he's going to give us our first topic of the day.
All right, gentlemen. So our very first topic for the 4th episode is: are MMOs still relevant today? Excuse me, I had my first brain fart. Yes, are MMOs still relevant?
Relevant as in what?
And what I mean by that is, is there a reason to be making them? It seems like Blizzard has it pretty locked down with World of Warcraft and their niche crowd that they have. So my question is, are they still relevant? Should they still be made, or is Blizzard running it, or whoever? I'm Blizzard, but yeah.
What?
Excuse
Blizzard.
me.
No, it's okay. No, you're asking if they're still relevant in today's gaming community?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and if not, is Blizzard, is World of Warcraft the only one that's liable to play?
Right. Because most of the time, whenever a new MMO comes out nowadays, it just seems like it seems like it just kind of gets blown away by World of Warcraft, because they're releasing these expansions every year, which I hear are always good.
And it brings people back.
Yeah, I've never played World of Warcraft extensively, but I enjoyed it whenever I did try it. But what do you guys think?
I think they're still relevant because they're just last year or the year before. Of course, it was the re-release of it, but Final Fantasy 14, from what I understand, is fantastic. And I know, of course, it was like their second shot. They basically had to reboot the game because the first one was so bad. And I personally, the only MMO I've ever really gotten into was Final Fantasy 11, and that was only about 3 months worth, but that was like 3 months of my life where I dedicated myself to playing nothing but that game, and then I missed out on all the other games. And that's the problem with playing an MMO is, it's basically like you're buying your own console, and you can't really play anything else, and you have to dedicate all your time to it. And you're asking whether or not they're still relevant. They're absolutely still relevant. I think the market's different. I don't think that they should be paid. You have to pay to play them. They need to be free to play with microtransactions if that's how they're wanting to make money. I mean, just look how bad Elder Scrolls Online did on its launch.
Yeah,
and they're finally making it free to play.
Now they're finally releasing it on consoles as Elder Scrolls Unlimited, I think.
Yeah,
what they're calling it. Tamriel. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And so it's pay once and you got it forever, which I'm excited for. I'm going to play the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard of a little game called Eve online?
I have.
Because it's not ran by Blizzard.
Oh no, it's ran by what are they called?
I can't remember the company's name, but I think it's more popular. I might be wrong, but I think it's more popular than World of Warcraft.
I don't know about that. I mean,
with a set net, like a set group of people.
Oh, set group of people. I don't know much about it, but the people who play it are really diehard about it.
Yeah, and the people who play World of Warcraft are really diehard about it.
But they drop in and out more.
Yeah, because people who play Eve put their some people put their life savings into it, and then end up losing it, which is terrible.
That's scary.
But you can make a living off playing this game, and people do. And I think, which the topic was, are they still relevant?
Yeah.
In a sense, I don't think people should be trying. I think if you're going to make it, you have to take your time with it, because you have to make it to where people will play it over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like with any other game, but with Elder Scrolls Online, I feel like they just kind of pushed it out there as here, take this, because I remember you got the beta for it, and it was
the beta was terrible. Well, for me, I don't know. because I was running on a crappy computer at the time though, so it wasn't running that great. Like graphics weren't that high. But I had no luck with the beta once I got it. I installed
I don't think anyone did.
Yeah, I installed that big 20 gigabyte file, and it was
basically
a day later. I uninstalled it. I couldn't even log on half the time.
But are microtransactions the way I guess everything should be going now?
I don't think I hate microtransactions personally, but at the same time, that's the way they're going. I mean, that's the mobile gaming influence is taking over, and
absolutely,
and that's. Microtransactions are the future, and MMOs, I think, are going to be. I mean, if they make MMOs, they're going to be free to play with microtransactions because that's the way they're going to have to go. But at the same time, the MMO playstyle is kind of infiltrating its way into modern gaming. I mean, the way Watch Dogs worked, you could just have anybody, and I hated it personally, but you just have anybody just infiltrate your city whenever. You're just running around doing missions and somebody would start hacking you and you gotta completely sidetrack and find out these people hacking you. Stuff like that. It's always open world, and which I guess is okay in some instances, but like games like Elder Scrolls to me are single player.
Yeah,
That is what's so fun about that is sitting there for 25 hours straight, forgetting who you are and just going to do a mission, and then you see a dragon off in the distance or something and be like, oh,
I'm gonna go kill that.
Then you pull out your phone, you're like, well, I haven't eaten in like 8 hours.
Yeah,
I felt that non-sensation.
I've never been a huge MMO player, but like if one was able to pull me in enough, I feel like I could enjoy it. That's why I am actually excited to play the Elder Scrolls Online, because I feel like maybe this could be the big MMO that I've been waiting for. Maybe I know it doesn't have like great reviews, but like that doesn't matter to me as long as I enjoy it, because I love the universe it's in. So I think that'll be a big player for me. The only really MMO I've ever actually gotten into, I guess, is RuneScape.
RuneScape's still pretty big.
Everybody spends,
that's kind of like an MMO rite of passage.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has played RuneScape, at least.
I mean, they did it right. It's free. And then you have a membership, which you get other stuff. I don't think you should have to pay to advance.
Oh, I agree completely.
Be above anybody else.
Yeah, I hate pay to win.
But pay to win. But at the same time, RuneScape, you can get almost the same stuff except for certain armor, and you can have like the same power levels as everybody else.
Yeah.
It's just you get special stuff if you're a member. So, but
you get special access to the member worlds and get more things from there.
I agree completely. But what do you think, Zach? Like, what is your complete opinions on MMOs, and are they still relevant or not?
I think that they're relevant, but it's going to be hard to make that new MMO that gets everything on.
Yeah.
So I think of MMOs, I think of three of them. That's World of Warcraft, EVE, and RuneScape.
Well, there's stuff like Guild Wars 2 and things like that are really popular.
Yeah.
But
what about StarCraft? Is that a...
No, it's not an MMO.
RTS, I think. Real-time strategy.
No. Corey's played that a lot.
It was fun, but that's not an MMO.
Yeah, I tried World of Warcraft for a little while, but I just couldn't get into it. I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea, per se.
Yeah.
RuneScape was the big MMO for me, and then I played EVE for a little while, and that was fun. But I just couldn't see myself investing so much time into it. I like it.
You just like to play other things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way.
I mean, there hasn't been a real MMO that dragged me in like RuneScape did.
Yeah.
Because I played it all the time back in middle school, and then I stopped playing. I played a little while for a few months recently, but then I stopped playing it then because of other stuff. But
yeah, I mean,
I think they're relevant, but I think it'll be hard to get another MMO that would do something like they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was the uphill slope, and then it kind of plateaued, and now we're starting to go towards the end.
With like World of Warcraft, for example, that's like the fantasy RPG. That's the big fantasy MMORPG, and you got EVE, which is your sci-fi. I don't know if it's an RPG. Is it?
MMOs
are always okay. I didn't know how.
I'm not gonna say always because they can be first-person shooters and stuff too.
Okay, I didn't know how that worked for sure. But I guess RuneScape is the fantasy RPG as well. I guess World of Warcraft's just like RuneScape on crack, basically.
Yeah, RuneScape's like the simplified version.
I guess another question is, are there still fresh ideas that could be used for MMOs, or do you think, like you said, as they have they plateaued and it's just going to be the same from here on out.
What they should have done, and Blizzard totally should have capitalized this on, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, they should have made a World of StarCraft, because that game would have blown World of Warcraft out of the water because it's sci-fi genre, and the StarCraft story to me is better than Warcraft, because I grew up on those Blizzard games besides Diablo. I played Warcraft and I played StarCraft, and I loved them both, and I just always thought StarCraft had the much better lore, and I just feel like that would make a better MMO.
Okay.
And I got very excited because I'm a big Star Wars fan when the Old Republic was announced, and then that game just they messed that one up so bad.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot about that one. Actually, there was a lot of people excited for that. My cousin, he was really excited about it. And I remember he got it, and this is the guy that plays Well, he doesn't anymore, but he used to play World of Warcraft religiously. So I was like, man, he's gonna get in and destroy this game. And like a week later, he was already done playing it,
Yeah.
He said he was tired of it.
The problem is, and the thing when MMOs launch, and it's the same way with a lot of games we've had lately, is they're not ready to be launched. And over time, like I'm sure Old Republic, I'm sure there are tons of people who play it now, and it's great. It's got a thriving community. But the problem is it takes 2 or 3 years for MMOs to get big like that. And Blizzard just caught it at the right time because World of Warcraft is something new. And they just, they built it with their community, and people grew with it, and they have those expectations when new MMOs come out. And when MMOs don't have a lot at the beginning, people are just like, this is all I can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what's happening with Destiny right now. I mean, there's so much there, but there's nothing in it to contain you. I mean, that's the problem with those type of games and online only games, and that's why I would much rather sit down and invest 100 to 150 hours into a single-player RPG. That's just me personally. I know people love their MMOs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I say, I've never been a big MMO player, but I think that they play a big part, in today's gaming world, I guess. Because like I say, they have these communities, and that's great. I'd love to be a part of one. I just got to find that MMO that pulls me in enough to where I can say, yeah, I'm going to go home and play this for hours on end, just like I can, a single player open world like Skyrim, because I'm like you, I like to get lost in a world, in my game, and because I love the sense of adventure. I love playing by myself. I love my multiplayer games, but I do prefer playing single player.
Maybe Elder Scrolls will do that.
I hope so. I'll find out June. I'm gonna say January 9th. I think it's June 9th is when it comes out, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll find out then for sure. But yeah, so I have one more question, but I kind of lost it.
Well,
but go ahead.
I mean, if this might help you think of it, give you a little bit of time. Isn't it crazy though how people can make their living off of playing games like that?
It's awesome. I mean, that's just the community we live in. I mean, gaming is becoming such an interesting medium for making money. I mean, that's what we're wanting to do. I mean, I mean, not that we're not gaming, but gaming is a part of our culture, and we love talking about it, and like that's what we want to do instead of the other job we do right now.
Yeah, really lame job.
But I mean, it's the future that I want to be a part of. I mean,
it's insane to think about because and I'm sure it's even more so now. But back in the day when getting World of Warcraft, getting to like level 80 or 90 was a big deal.
That's what I was about to say.
My cousin, he used to do that. He sold one of his level 80, 85, maybe it was 90, I don't know. But he sold one of his accounts to somebody in Wisconsin for I think about $700 to $800. Like
they sell.
That's crazy.
People make their livings off of buying accounts, leveling them up to like the max level, like doing their skills, like doing something.
Yeah.
And then they'll sell them for like almost $900 to $1,000.
That's crazy.
I know what I was going to mention was with some of the promotions that they have are also like nowadays. I believe on World of Warcraft, I saw a commercial where they were like, sign up now and get to level 90 instantly. Like, has anyone else heard of that? I think that's
I've seen that.
Like that's not fun.
No, it's not at all.
I mean, that's not fun.
I mean, you play more. I mean, I would say out of the four of us, you play more Japanese type, tougher games.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that because I love Japanese, like especially role playing games, and I'm hoping this generation they rise again. But that's a different topic for another day. And I mean, like, how do you feel? Would you rather play like a JRPG compared to an MMO, or do you like the MMO experience if you have people to play with over a JRPG. How do you like playing by yourself or the giant group of people?
That's a tough one. I love me some JRPGs, and with the MMO thing, like if I had a set group of people that I knew with, that I got along with, you know, like not even just people that I know personally, but just a set group, someone in that community, it's like, yeah, I'd love to play with them, and anything like that. I mean, which is not an MMO, but Counter-Strike, there's a set group of people that I usually play with and everything. We have a great time and whatnot. I don't know any of them personally. They live off in different states and everything. They're miles away. But it's hard to find like a group of people like that you could just connect with at that point.
Absolutely.
It's hard to do it. Like you're going to run into people you just don't.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, that's just
you just bump heads.
That's just the online community in general, because I mean, like that's still the reason I play Halo, is because, you know, I met 3 of my best friends on there, and we hit it off on Halo. I mean, we don't play as much together, but when Halo comes out, we all just kind of stop what we're doing and we get together and play Halo. I mean, it's just, you find that good online community with your group. I understand completely. It's just about the people you play with.
That's a great thing about gaming, is it brings people together. And
it helped me socialize with people, because
absolutely, you know,
a lot.
I mean, that's the big thing about the internet, but you know that it, you know, brings people together. But gaming, you know, I guess it gives you a common ground, and MMOs are a big part of that, because I mean, there's a lot of PvP, but you know, a lot of times you're going to be working together with people on like maybe I don't know, a big raid boss or something. But you know, that's a big thing for me too that I like about MMOs.
They have huge raids and everything. Like you watch videos now, and it's just these raids. Like there's about like groups of 15 to 20 people going through one single boss, and everyone has a set road they play. And if they don't play that road, then
and all 15 of those people might still lose. Like I mean, that's that's crazy.
Does League of Legends count as MMO? Because I
don't know much about League of Legends.
I don't either, but I know it's like it's
big.
Yeah, almost a MOBA. Like, but I don't know.
What does that stand for? I've always wanted to.
You want to talk about a group of guys who, like, PC people would just hate to be around. It is, well, I don't know, not about you, but us 3 right here. What is a MOBA, Zach?
Yeah.
John's getting up in there. He's part of that.
Yeah, I mean, you 3 are better than me. I
don't know anything. I don't know what it is. I see it all the time.
You've seen Dota.
Yeah, I know what Dota is.
That's a MOBA. Yeah. I don't play many MOBAs or anything like. I couldn't even tell you what it stands for, because I don't get into that whole thing. That's a whole other bag of apples right there.
Yeah.
But MOBAs remind me of a lot how MMOs play. Like there's set stuff you can do. Like Dota is the main one I can compare it to, because I've seen stuff of Dota 2.
Isn't that just like a card game?
Multiplayer online battle arena is what it stands for.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like you have a group of people. Usually, I think with Dota 2, it's a team of 5, and each one does a role and everything. Like there's people who sets traps and other like assault tanks and whatnot like that, and they all do a different, thing, and they go to attack the enemy, who's another group of 5 that's about the same or different as well.
After I said that, I did remember that they call it LOL, League of Legends.
Yeah.
I did realize, I watched some like Twitch stream one day. I saw it was like it was like the most watched thing on Twitch one day.
Yeah, they're
and
so
like,
popular.
Man, it was just a bunch of people battling each other, and I had no clue what was going on.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's extremely popular too. I just didn't know if it counted as.
I mean, I think that just comes with part of being like a majority console gamers, because we're just now getting caught up to the whole Twitch and all that. Because I mean, I love the PlayStation 4, but their Twitch app is so bad. It is terrible.
They need to update that, because like
it needs a lot of work.
When I want to watch somebody play Twitch on PlayStation, even if you go to search them, it searches like both Twitch and Ustream, and I can never find anybody
on Ustream.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, this is one thing I will give the Xbox One Twitch app is the way the PS4 Twitch app needs to be, because on the Xbox One you can watch them play PlayStation games on there,
That's cool.
Or like when they had that live reading of The Last of Us. You couldn't watch it on the PlayStation, but you could watch it on the Xbox.
Oh wow,
which is funny and just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think we're all in agreement that MMOs still have a lot of influence. they're very much relevant. The market's changing, but they're influencing the way games are becoming. I mean, Destiny is a perfect example of that. I mean, as much as I strongly dislike that game, you know, I'm sure over time it'll get bigger and better after they add a bunch of DLC and stuff.
Yeah. So they still play their part.
Yeah, absolutely. And the game sold so well. I mean, people love that stuff. But I mean, are we all in agreement? MMO is still relevant?
Absolutely.
It's just going to be hard to come up with that next.
The next one. So I'm sure if anyone can do it, it'd be Blizzard.
I think it's because. One last thing, I think it's because they keep adding those add-ons.
Yeah.
Because Eve does the same thing. They every couple months even they add something new, and it builds on each other, so everybody just stays and plays.
I mean, that's Blizzard still doing it. I'm sure there will be a World of Warcraft expansion pack announced this year.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it'll come out about October, November. I think it's when they all come out.
And then it'll skyrocket.
Yep.
But anyway.
All right. My turn?
No, it's Zach's turn.
Okay.
My turn.
Your turn.
Yeah. Zach, what's your topic?
Well, as everyone who's probably going to be watching this knows by now.
We hope so.
Hope so.
Read the news.
Come on. Bethesda is holding a conference a couple days before E3. My question is, are you excited for it? What do you think they're going to talk about there?
First, does it count as an E3 conference?
Yeah, it's gonna be in the same vein as like Microsoft, PlayStation, and EA and Ubisoft do one. So
I just want to make sure because I thought it was their very first E3. That's why I thought it was such a big deal, is because it's their very first one.
It's like their very first one, and it's yet to see whether it's gonna be an annual thing or if they're just doing this
for one-time thing.
If they do not announce Fallout 4,
I'm gonna I'll lose it.
I was waiting for somebody to say because we all knew it was coming.
There is no way they don't announce Fallout 4 unless it's Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be Fallout 4. It'll be Fallout 4.
It's going to be Fallout. They haven't had Fallout in so long.
I keep hearing so many rumors that it could be both. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen because I feel like that would take away from each of them.
Yeah.
I imagine new Elder Scrolls will come out towards the end of this generation.
Yeah.
But
it'll still be awesome, and I'll still be flipping tables.
Oh, I would play it if they released it tomorrow. I don't care what,
The thing is, Bethesda could announce Fallout 4 tomorrow and be like, hey, it's coming out in a month, and it'll sell 10 million copies.
Yeah, because they've been sitting on it. They've got to be. If they're not, I don't know.
They know
they've
everybody
got to
wants it. They know that.
Didn't somebody, after it got kind of leaked that it was being worked on, didn't somebody come out and say that they finished the voice acting?
Yeah, like a long time ago. It was a long time ago when he said that. It was the guy who played 8 Ball. Is that his name?
3 Dog.
3 Dog.
8 Ball.
8 Ball's one of that side character nobody cares
about. Drug dealer or something.
If there's a new character in Fallout 4 called 8 Ball,
Justin
Bright called it.
No, Justin Bryan called it.
Justin Bryan.
I mean, personally, and I think right now we're talking about doing a live Twitch stream of all of our reactions of watching the Bethesda conference and making all of you jealous by eating delicious pizza and sitting on a couch being lazy watching Bethesda announce Fallout 4, which will happen.
And then you'll get to see my face and I just go crazy because I can't wait. I need this game.
So you obviously know that we're all excited about Fallout 4, but what are like some of the other things I think they're going to announce? They're going to talk about Doom 4. I mean, they're obviously going to talk about that.
That little teaser, that's the only thing I've heard of Doom 4 is that little teaser that they chose.
With Wolfenstein, it came with the beta code, you could do. So I imagine that's got to be coming out soon. And I imagine that they'll tease Dishonored 2. So people are very excited about that.
I never played that game, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Is it fun?
It's pretty fun. I played some of it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to check that out sometime because I've heard a lot about it.
And maybe they'll do something. Like if Fallout 4 doesn't come out until 2016, they'll get someone like Obsidian to do kind of like they did with New Vegas, but with Elder Scrolls, you can put a game in the Black Marshes or something, somewhere that's not as big. Yeah. And you could just make a little side Elder Scrolls game, or on some island off the coast of Skyrim or something like that, which we would all play.
Go to Ellsworth.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You could totally.
That'd be perfect for a little side thing.
Go to the Orc Island and everybody
be orping.
Oh, Orc Island.
I don't know where. I forgot where the orcs came from.
I don't even know.
Is it Hammerfell?
No,
Hammerfell
is the Red Guards.
Yeah. Elsewhere is the desert. Is that where the
That's
Khajiit
where the
came from?
Khajiits.
Yeah, Black Marsh was the
Argonians.
Yeah,
That's where I want the next Elder Scrolls.
yeah.
game
I
to be,
think
is the
Black Marsh. That's the
A lot
biggest.
of people thought that's what the Skyrim was going to be, was in the Black
Yeah,
Marsh.
I heard about that. Isn't the Black Marsh like the last big area of Tamriel?
There's like the island. What is it? Somerset Isles?
Somerset, yeah.
Somerset Isles could be one.
Yeah, that's where the High Elves are from, if I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
right?
Please put Skyrim on the PS4 so I can replay
Yes,
that game.
I agree. I want Skyrim on the PS4.
Or I mean,
I can imagine them remaking Morrowind, and everyone would buy
That'd be
that.
cool. I would love that because I would play Morrowind.
have you ever played Morrowind?
I started it. I know it's different.
It's not. That's a nice way of putting that. It's overrated garbage.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay,
Ooh,
it's not garbage.
Ooh.
It's just compared to Oblivion and Skyrim.
Well, yeah. I
and
mean,
this is when the hardcore RPGists are like breaking through their computers and they're like, Justin, just because it's a lot easier than Morrowind doesn't mean it's a bad game. No, Oblivion and Skyrim are 10 times better games. I'm sorry, I said it.
no.
They did an HD remake of Oblivion. So much fun.
I'd buy it immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
So-
little bugs and glitches in that game make that.
They
I
would
know,
have to keep them though, because I mean they wouldn't have to, but it would be awesome if they
I
just
would
kept
love
them
it if they
out
did,
of.
yeah.
Keep them
Like
off
fix some of the
business.
game breaking ones, like the vampirism glitch
Oh,
and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I think that some of the stuff in there was just like made the memories.
Take my
flood.
blood crest, you bitch!
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin didn't even ever have to deal with that. We did.
What are you talking about? I 1K'd that game, thank you very much.
Yeah, but you didn't have to deal with the vampirism glitch
Oh, was it just a PS3
It was
thing?
a PS3
Okay.
thing.
that they never fixed.
There were glitches in the Xbox 360 version, but that's one thing I'm excited for you guys is to get to experience Bethesda game that's actually developed well on a console because I know they did not do a good job with the PS3. So.
That's a different
Yeah.
story.
Those Oblivion games.
Realistically,
That's another
guys,
topic
like,
for another
what
day.
is some, like? I mean,
Yeah.
besides this is a good question actually. Besides Elder Scrolls and Fallout or Doom or a side story on the Vita,
What if they come out with a new IP?
yeah, I was about. What could Bethesda do? Do you think that they could come out with a new IP? Like, what could they do?
If they do a new IP, like, well, that's the thing. Bethesda's people don't realize they're more of a publisher now than they are. They make their in-house games. They make new in-house games every 4 to 5 years because people go crazy about them.
Yes.
I'm not going to say they're on the same level as GTA, but they're close to where they can wait a while, release a game, and it's going to sell 10 million copies.
Oh, yeah.
Fallout 4, they don't talk about it, but it's creating its own hype, and I guarantee you it'll sell 12 million copies easily.
They know what they're doing with that game.
Absolutely.
They know exactly what they're doing to us.
Absolutely.
Well, it's just like Rockstar, Naughty Dog, Bethesda are like the big three, and like there's probably others I just can't think of them. Honestly.
Oh, I mean Valve. I mean,
and Valve.
what if they just one day was like, hey, here's Half-Life 3.
Half-Life
Just
3's on the Steam store.
Just dropped it on the Steam store. Steam would crash that day.
Yeah, it
Steam would crash.
Steam would crash in the 5 minutes that it was announced.
Yeah, it would crash.
It reminds me whenever they announced Portal 2 and whatnot. I mean, everyone loved Portal.
Yeah.
And then they announced 2. I think Steam crashed that day.
Wow.
It was down for a little
Maybe they'll
while.
be ready for it next time, but I don't know.
That's
a big
you
one.
know they're sitting there licking their chops though. They love that.
Oh yeah, I mean they get so much money out of that.
Todd Howard's gonna come out there, and we're gonna have this video screen in the background, and it's gonna be the American flag, and then it's gonna show like the Paul Revere statue like broken in half, and then it's gonna be like the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and then it's gonna be some brotherhood like a group of brotherhood just marching, and it's gonna just fade back. It's gonna be a Fallout 4 coming winter 2015, and we're all just gonna be like.
I can see them doing something like that, kind of like how they did when they announced Skyrim.
Oh, and
That
like
little-
all the monks walked
Yeah.
out.
I had no idea what they were doing with that. They just came out and like, we got something new that we're announcing. I remember watching this at my grandmother's house.
We were on the phone together too. We were watching it, like talking about what was going on. You're like, what is this? What's happening right now? Oh my god!
He's called Dovahking, Dragonborn. It's like whenever it said it's been foretold in the scrolls, I knew right then it was a new Elder Scrolls game, and it was the one everyone's been talking about because everyone thought that it was going to be called like Shadowmere or some Shadowrun.
Shadowmere.
Shadowmere.
Shadowmere? Isn't that the name of the horse?
Yeah, that's the name of the horse.
He needs his own game with horse armor. horse armor again.
Yes.
Shadowmere was like it's just a game about an immortal horse that you can just slay multiple times.
You say he's invincible, but in both Oblivion and Skyrim, unintentionally, I drove him off the side of a cliff, and he never came back. I know you can revive him in Skyrim, and I know he can't die in Oblivion, but I never found him again.
Yeah, Shadowmere was used as a...
He was a walking chest.
Yep, he was a walking chest on my Oblivion. That's exactly what I used him for.
Man, what a game. What a series.
I spent so much time. I mean, if you're talking about like a game that I spent, a lot of time with, that's Oblivion. To this day, I will argue with anybody that Oblivion's a better game than Skyrim. I think it had a better story. It may not have looked as cool, but it's a lot more colorful. And I like colors. So, I know Justin's staring me down, but I'm serious. It's just like your opinion on Morrowind. It may be the unpopular opinion, but to this day, I will disagree with anybody that says Skyrim is a better game than Oblivion. Because it may be nostalgia talking, but I spent a lot more time with Oblivion than I did Skyrim.
Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, no matter how wrong they are.
Right.
But Skyrim is the greatest Bethesda game made. As much as I love Fallout 3, they just get better and better and better with each game.
Oh, I agree.
Man,
So that
Fallout
means
3.
that means Fallout 4 is going to be the greatest game ever made.
I can't wait.
Setting it in stone, it's going to get that nice old 98 on Metacritic.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be great, though.
Yeah. See, my thing with that is that with Oblivion, I liked Cyrodiil a lot more than I did Skyrim. Like, it wasn't just that I thought that...
I think he's wanting to pick a fight with me right now.
Let's do
Put
this.
his fist
Bring it
up.
on, Justin.
No,
But-
how can you not love walking around listening to those bad Austrian accents in Skyrim?
I know.
I'm
I'm not saying Skyrim's a bad game, but like in terms
No,
of...
you are saying it's a bad game.
it's a great game, and I
You're breaking
love
my heart,
I
Trevor.
love playing it. I love playing it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It's just
I don't see
that-
what's so funny about it, Trevor, because
I think
Skyrim
we're
is
gonna
so much
both
better
argue
than
on this.
Cyrodiil.
Okay, well, with Cyrodiil, you had a beautiful, colorful world. Skyrim is...
You had
is a-
Oblivion Gates versus Dragons.
I agree. Oblivion Gates were repetitive and kind of tacked on.
I could go
Other than the
into
ones that were meant there for the story.
I could go into a dungeon and not have to backtrack a million miles.
Well, I do agree. I'm not. Skyrim added a few things that are amazing that should have been there in Oblivion.
himself in circles.
Not to mention Skyrim has the dragon shouts, or the shouts, and the amazing
I love
menu
the dragon
music that
shouts.
blows everything about Oblivion out of the water.
But you didn't. You liked Oblivion, right?
I loved Oblivion.
Okay.
It's just not as good
I
as
have, to
Skyrim.
give, I have to give Trevor this. I like Oblivion's dungeons more than I do Skyrim's. I like how... I will give Skyrim credit.
I don't
like,
smoke crack like you, Zach.
Well, I'm sorry that I like it. Well, I do appreciate that Skyrim's dungeons are simplified to where you can easily get like the exit at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah,
You just get right
absolutely.
to the end. They should have did that with Oblivion, but you gotta think only one person made all of Oblivion's dungeons. Like he made them so complicated. And that
You're
itself
right.
isn't it?
I loved Oblivion. I will say this about Oblivion. It has the best Elder Scrolls quest by far, and that's the Dark Brotherhood quest. Where
Yeah.
it's the murder
I
mystery.
don't like
Thank-
Skyrim's
Oh my
Dark
gosh.
Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Oblivion's.
Skyrim's guilds are nowhere compared to Oblivion's, except for the Mages Guild. That sucked.
Did you think that? See, even the main quest. I thought that Skyrim's. And I'm going to move over to Fallout here in a second.
No, you're not. You're going to stay on
No,
Skyrim.
we got to move to Fallout here in a second because that's kind of like I feel like that's
You gonna talk
that's
shit
gonna
about?
happen.
You gonna talk shit
No.
about Fallout?
But with
John's a
with
wolf right
Oblivion and Skyrim's story,
Mhm.
I think Oblivion had the better main quest line. I felt like Skyrim, other than going to Sovngarde, at the end of spoilers, sorry. Surely you played it by now if you hadn't paused this video and go buy it. But I mean, I thought that you liked Oblivion's story better with me, but maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I just enjoyed the story. I like the Mythic Dawn, the cult. I don't know. I just
Yeah, it was
enjoyed
good.
it.
Justin's
really
probably
good.
thinking my ancestors are smiling upon me. They say the same.
But Oblivion did have something that Skyrim didn't have, and that was the best DLC ever released on a console, Shivering Isles.
The Knights of the Nine.
That's good too.
They brought
That armor,
Yeah.
man.
If they brought Shivering Isles to
Yeah.
Skyrim, that'd be so awesome.
Shivering Isles was the best one ever made.
Well, I think Skyrim would have had. Why they never released that Redguard DLC just still eats me alive, because I had fun with the Morrowind DLC. It was nothing special, but it was just fun going back and seeing like Morrowind in the background destroyed. So good. But
was that what DLC was that?
Bloodborne.
Dragon
was it? Dragonborn.
Dragonborn, not Bloodborne. Not Bloodborne.
I mean,
Bloodborne.
it's just one of those things that
you might be thinking of the vampire one that they did, the big vampire.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was.
There was Dawnguard, there was Dawnguard, and then Bloodborne. Good. Dragonborn.
I know, it's so
Hearthfire.
I know, you're
I love that one. That is so underrated. I love building my own house.
There are so many distractions going on right now that I can't concentrate.
I know.
I'm trying to like fight Trevor in my mind, and then there are just things unraveling right now that I will not pay attention to.
In this, like, it's amazing what's going on outside of our little group right now.
Yeah.
If things are unraveling.
The world is just moving without us, and we're sitting here.
We're just sitting here.
So, guys, Fallout. That's the main. It's got to happen.
No,
we know
we're talking about Bethesda.
Oh yeah, I know, but the conference is definitely going to be more geared towards Fallout. Do we all agree with that?
It's on Flag Day too, which I don't know if that's just a coincidence or not.
Fallout 4 will get announced. We'll all.
But I think it'll be at the very end. I think they're going to save.
They should. I mean, they absolutely should. You got to save your best for last. I mean,
absolutely.
And I just want him to Hulk Hogan his shirt off and let there be like a big 4 under it.
I hope when he does that, he can't get the shirt off. And it's just really awkward.
It's really awkward. He's just kind of like
and the video starts playing before he can even get the shirt off.
You just hear him take the shirt off.
He takes it off and gets pulled up here, and he's like,
see his mic string.
How upset would you be if they were like, they announced Fallout 4 and Elder Scrolls 6, but Obsidian's the one making Fallout 4? I just ruined everybody's mood right there.
Very upset.
I would be upset. I mean, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't play it but I would hope that they learn from their mistake on New Vegas. That's not gonna happen. I don't think. Maybe. I'm not Bethesda.
Bethesda's just more and more every day becoming more of a publisher.
Yeah, I know. And
maybe they just won't unravel.
Yeah, and I feel like Obsidian would just tear down.
But you say that though, but they supposedly, I never played it. They did a really good job with South Park.
Yeah,
I never played it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But
I heard it was really good. Yeah,
Kevin played it.
Kevin knows.
Shout out to Kevin and Ben, our other members of SadisticPixel.com.
I'm glad you took. I almost say Kevin Smith. It's not Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. Will Smith's new son.
Whoa! You two don't say anything. Do you not know who Kevin Smith is? No.
John.
Shut up.
John.
Shut up.
Trevor, who's Kevin Smith?
I don't know.
Yeah, so shut up.
I know. I saw him on the Game Over Greggy show for the first time.
He is a very famous 1990s director who created movies like Clerks and Mallrats and Clerks 2 and Dogma and Chasing Amy.
He played Silent Bob, right?
Yep, he plays Silent Bob.
And he's got his new show, Comic Book Man.
No, we don't even speak
that. That's funny.
That's the recent thing you could probably see right now is that.
Yeah.
And he has his own podcast.
Yeah, he's got like 4 different podcasts. Yeah. But anyway,
he's awesome.
Fallout 4 gonna be amazing. It's gonna blow our minds. Mm-hmm. We're probably gonna wind up breaking this table, and
give us an excuse to get a better table.
I'm gonna body slam Zach through it.
Hey, this table is
sacred.
It's held us up.
This is our 4th episode, and it's held up.
Hopefully it'll hold up.
We would be unraveling without this table.
But I mean, Bethesda conference again. We're all excited about it.
Absolutely.
Very excited about it.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be so much fun.
What is it? June 14th?
I hope so.
I think
it's that Sunday before E3.
I'm ready for it.
But anyway. On to you, John. John.
Jason.
John Henry Allen.
Oh,
I'm not John.
John, what's your topic?
Well, my topic
is
what is your favorite TV show of all time?
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
I like how they like exasperate, and they're like, "Man, that's such a tough topic." Even though we go over our topics before the show.
No, we don't.
I've never met any of these people.
We just kind of come in here. This is our 4th episode together.
I forget about y'all every week.
It's like
51st podcast.
Yeah. My favorite TV show is, and you have called it, John, it's Trailer Park Boys. Wow. And I want everyone to criticize me. Justin, bring it on. I'm
not gonna say anything.
No, I want everyone to ask why, because that's
I love
the real question is why. What's your favorite TV show and why? Trailer Park Boys is probably
Justin's very disappointed.
It has to be the funniest show I've ever seen. For one, It has a lot of underlying themes that people from the outside do not see.
Oh, yeah.
You take now for anybody who doesn't know what Trailer Park Boys is, I know Justin's hating me over here.
I don't hate anybody. This is just one of those days where Trevor and I should have had a debate.
Yeah, I know. For people who don't know what Trailer Park Boys is, it's a Canadian show. I think it's been running since like 2001, maybe.
Hey.
What?
Hey.
Hey, yeah. I think it's been running since about 2001, maybe 4. I don't know. It's kind of vague. I know, but
4 or 3 years.
It's just a show about 3 guys that live in a trailer park. It's a community. It's a show about community. You know, it's got a lot of, you know, they got
TV show Community's better than Trailer Park Boys.
Well, I've never seen Community, so I can't argue with you. But I have never, I've never watched anything like it. It's a show that is not afraid to go there. I mean, really, it's not.
Where do they go, Trevor? All over Canada?
They do. Well, actually, yes, because little known fact, seasons 1 through 4 were all filmed at a different trailer park in Canada. I think they're all near Halifax. But
where's Halifax?
Little known fact.
Little known fact about Halifax.
Near Nova Scotia, I think.
It is in Nova Scotia.
It's 3 hours above Moncton. I know that. Anybody from Moncton?
You're trying to explain to me why Trailer Park Boys is the greatest show ever made. You're not doing a good job.
It's not the greatest show ever made, but it's my favorite. Okay, so anyway, it's a show that's not afraid to go there. It's about, you know, they go to jail every season. It's just a redneck Canadian show. I mean, it's really what it is.
That sounds intriguing.
You take away all the guns, all the drugs, you know, that happens on there, and you've got a show about values and community. It's a community that sticks together, and it values friendship. And a lot of people don't see that like I do.
And the only reason Trevor sees it is because he read it on Reddit.
No, really. I've watched numerous interviews with John Dunsworth, who plays Jim Leahy, trailer park supervisor, where he will argue with people about that's what the show is really about. You know, which if you don't know who John Dunsworth is, he is one of the nicest, most humble people alive.
He's a great actor.
He's an amazing actor. He plays a drunk, but never he does not drink a drop of alcohol ever. It's funny because on one of the episodes, he plays a drunk who's acting sober while actually drunk. Like, that's how good of an actor he is. And he's
almost as good as Daniel Day-Lewis.
Maybe.
Keep going.
I don't know much about Daniel Day-Lewis.
This is why I win this argument.
Yeah. Anyway, I know I'm going on, but yeah, that's why I like Trailer Park Boys.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm going on.
There was a lot of shows that I really liked, but my all-time favorite that I'm gonna get the box set one day. It's probably to be Seinfeld.
That is high five worthy. I'd high five you, but we may not.
I know you liked Seinfeld.
Yeah,
but
it's the greatest sitcom ever made.
I agree.
I remember back whenever I used to live in the house before I moved out of it.
Yeah.
And moved back into it. That we had cable or something. It was cable or satellite that I know we had satellite. It was DirecTV. Now I remember. Heck, Mom and I would sit there and watch Seinfeld together all the time. Both her and I loved Seinfeld. And we had a couple of the seasons, which now all the discs are basically all scratched up to hell. Don't work.
Yeah, that's what Dad meant. We'd watch it every day after school. It came on TBS at 4.
I know it's so crazy when you watch it on TBS because you don't realize how much they cut out.
I know. I actually didn't know that until a couple of years ago.
I can sit there and watch Seinfeld just as much as you watch Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Kind of thing is Kramer, probably one of my favorite characters.
Because Zach is Kramer.
I've been compared to Kramer.
If you guys watch Seinfeld, Zach is Kramer.
Like, it was funny because I've been playing Trivia Crack with Corey, this little mobile game. We basically answer questions by topic or whatever, and I got the entertainment topic, and the question was, who is Jerry's bald friend? And Seinfeld, and I was like, oh, this is easy. And it was like George Costanza. It's just, there's so many things, like little things that I just remember from that show.
And this is where you and I are going to debate, because George Costanza is the best character on that show.
Uh-oh.
But I do love Kramer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Kramer's just my favorite character.
He's great.
Oh man, the Red Dot episode.
I love that episode.
It's probably one of my favorite episodes where he gets drunk off like 3 cups of Hennigan's, the show Heineken. I had that whole thing memorized back then, which I probably couldn't even do right now because if you put on the spot, I won't remember those lines. But all in all, Seinfeld would be one of my favorite shows.
If you wanted to talk about a show, and I love writing, Seinfeld, especially Larry David's seasons. I mean, the last season, the last 2 seasons are good, but they're more zany and so out there than the first couple. But like just the writing on that show and just the things. I mean, it's just like it's such everyday, just such an everyday thing. And when I was watching that show growing up with my parents, I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And then it's as I got older, I was like, I get it. The show is amazing.
Because I always just watched it because my mom and dad watched it, and then as I got older, I continued watching it, and I was just like, yeah, I get all this now. It's just, it's a show.
That's why I watch Trailer Park Boys instead.
It's a show about nothing, and I love it.
The Magic Loogie was also another good episode. The big one talking about the JFK assassination.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Now that is one Magic Loogie.
Everybody should watch Seinfeld.
Oh, you really should. You owe it to yourselves.
Everybody should watch it. I mean, like they're supposed to making so much money off of that. I mean, that's why it hasn't been released on Blu-ray, is because they're making so much money off the DVD.
Man, if they released it on Blu-ray,
it'll sell a lot.
I'm sure they will one day. I'm sure it'll come to Netflix one day as well. But
that probably will happen. I'm surprised it hasn't yet.
Well, I think what was it? Maybe you told me that Jerry, like you said, Jerry's still making a lot of money off of it.
Yeah, he's still making tons of money.
He's like, well, there's no reason.
There's not.
So,
but
what about you, Justin?
What's my favorite TV show of all time?
Yes, Justin.
Well, this is the problem with asking me a question like this, because I'm going to divide it up. You would have asked me 6 years ago.
I was going to as well, so.
You asked me 6 years ago, my favorite TV show of all time would have been Lost, because I got so obsessed with that show. It was like Star Trek was to people back in the 60s and 70s. But as I got older, I fell in love with better writing. No, you better pay attention. I listened to you talk about that Trailer Park.
I'm paying attention.
That was some of the garbage.
About 2011, shut down. Nathan Oliver, that we work with.
Sorry, go ahead. I was thinking of Nathan Anderson.
I don't even know who that is.
Either.
Joke. I was about to start watching Mad Men because I heard great things about it. And I was like, oh, this Breaking Bad show, I've heard about it. Pretty good, from what I understand. I went to Nathan Oliver. He's like, Nathan Oliver, which one did you recommend? He's like, Breaking Bad's a better show. I was like, you're a good man, Nathan Oliver. And so I went home during that shutdown, and I watched Breaking. What is wrong with you right now?
I'm just listening. Listening.
I know, he's like a little schoolgirl over
I did
here.
the same thing. I did the same thing.
Trailer Park Boys is better than Breaking Bad.
That's pretty much. And then I watched the first 3 seasons of Breaking Bad, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. But then, finished that series. I would say it's the greatest show I've ever watched. But then there's The Wire.
I still haven't seen it. But
I know. I don't know why you make the noise like, oh, I've seen that. It's such a good show. I've never watched it, though.
I've so many good things about it.
What is that?
It is really good. That is The Wire is probably the greatest written show of all time, but it's not a serial like Breaking Bad. I love serial shows where everything matters. I mean, there is not a better show that has started out one way and just it gets better, because usually shows go downhill. Yeah. Breaking Bad just climbs that mountain and it just keeps going, and it stays so good. I know everyone is like, oh, Breaking Bad, jeez, but it is that good of a show. I mean, it is amazing. Seinfeld would be in there, and the one show I hate doing this topic for one reason is because I've never watched The Sopranos, and I've heard how amazing that show is, and like I need to watch that before I absolutely just make like a top 10, because I'm sure on our website I'll make a top 10 like TV show list, but I will go with Breaking Bad, and with The Wire like right there next to it. So that's my pick. Breaking Bad's the greatest show I've ever watched. Better Call Saul is really good right now, so people need to see watching it.
So good.
It is really good.
I mean, like
I'm gonna plug in The Walking Dead because I haven't watched Better Call Saul.
My attack may start focusing on Zach Dickerson here in a minute.
I love The Walking Dead. Like, this mid-season premiere was amazing, but
I feel like with The Walking Dead, they want me to like it, but like at the same time they don't. Which I haven't seen season 3, so I missed a lot.
The Walking Dead is very like iffy. Like some seasons are good and some seasons are bad.
Yeah, there's some seasons that are just, but there's some episodes that are. And then there's Justin.
All right, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent right now about Walking Dead. I read.
It's not the comics. I love the comics.
I know you've heard that. My problem with it is Tyrese was one of the most awesome characters in the comic book.
Spoiler alert, everyone. What happened with mid-season repair if you haven't seen it.
I'm not. Who said I'm gonna spoil anything? He just basically told you Tyrese died.
Yeah,
No.
Tyrese gets trapped inside of a gymnasium in the comic books with his hammer. You think he's dead? He kills them all. He can't like function in the TV show. And I know they tried to make him like the only character, still have that good inside of him. He just did such a bad job. Such a bad job.
Well, yeah, after what's her name got killed, he went on that big killing spree, like when they got trapped in the car.
Yeah.
And he got surrounded. He killed them all, but they don't show it. They don't show like him like beating the hell out of
Not to mention you let that
zombies.
guy go, and then that just messes everything up. And then it's just like Del and Andrea are awesome in the comics book too, and then they just ruin. I could go off on Walking Dead. It's not a bad show. I just don't. If you like the TV show, don't read the comics. That's all I gotta say. I'm sorry, Zach. Trailer Park's Boys sucks, Trevor.
Oh my
I
god.
like both of them equally. I'm liking.
I don't ever watch it.
There's a lot of stuff in the show that I don't agree how they're doing it, which I like both. And it's like if you haven't read any of the comics and you're watching the show, yeah, you're gonna be pissed if you read the comics.
Right.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that's why I'm kind of excited about the spin-off show coming out because I have no expectations for that. So hopefully it'll be really good. Go ahead, Trevor.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I enjoy the show enough. Like I watch it because you come over to my house to watch it. I enjoy it enough, to watch it. I didn't get as far as all of you
Who's
have
the
in the
governor?
comic. Yeah, like who's the governor? I didn't get as far as all of you did in the comics. I actually believe I stopped on like number 23. I know it's a random number, but that's the number that stands out. So I didn't get as far in the comics. So I don't really have much expectations for the show.
That's good.
Because it's something that I watch lightheartedly. I don't get emotional in the show like a lot of people do.
How can you with those amazing CGI blood shots?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm sorry, I just lost it. It happens to me way too often.
I can't help. I'm sorry, everybody.
No.
I can't help it.
I just don't pay attention to as much detail as you.
I hate that so bad.
I know. I in shows that like I say, I watch it lightheartedly. I'm not like freaking out about it when it comes on. So usually when I'm watching it, I'll be on my phone or playing my Vita or something. While Zach's like right in it. But shows like you said, like Breaking Bad, where everything matters. Of course, I'm paying more attention to detail. More than and even Better Call Saul now. Because I know how they're gonna do that show. You gotta pay attention.
I will say this: the first 3 episodes of season 5 are really good. Like with the cannibals and everything, that stuff was really good. And then
The termites.
And then like after that, and I still don't understand everyone's obsession with that Beth character because
she's cute.
Okay.
I think
I felt bad for Daryl.
Not Beth.
Everybody wanted that Daryl Beth connection. That's why they
finally started to connect, and then.
Well, it's just I just don't think her character was well written. But I mean, and then she sang all the time.
That's basically what her character was.
I only know Beth was she in season 2? Because I don't remember.
From the amazing song from Kiss.
Yes.
Beth.
I don't even know that song. I'm not a Kiss fan.
Beth was introduced right whenever they got to the
City.
farm.
Yeah, it was Herschel's daughter.
I know who Beth is.
Okay.
No,
So I really only know of Beth on that, when she was in that hospital in season 5. Is that where we're on?
Yeah.
So that's all really. I didn't even know that she sang. I don't know.
And this is totally my fault that this topic has come unhinged because I could go on and on about The Walking Dead, and this is why I'm going to bring it to John Allen to finish his topic strong.
Well, I'm going to split mine up into categories more or less because I can't choose a favorite out of everyone because I've watched.
I have so many honorable mentions for sure.
Well, let's just out of my top 3 would probably be Breaking Bad, The Office.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm my seventh watch there right now of The Office because I love that show, and I had a third one but I can't remember it.
Was it? Just say Walking Dead. I feel like it's my fault that you're not going to say it.
No, The Walking Dead's good, but it's not like this season. I love this new start of the season the thing with Tyrese, yeah, I know he's like a badass in the comics, and then they just kind of ruined it. And Garrett at work was like, I was so mad. And I was like, dude, he like if you read the comics, you would be even more mad because they just like they made him into like a baby, pretty much. But.
Yeah. But I mean, I understand why they did it because they wanted to at least have one character with humanity still on that show.
Yeah,
but I think that's the whole point of that show is that there's no humanity left.
Which they kind of cut it from Rick because he had it there for a little while.
Well, Rick like has become the best character on that show. Yeah. So besides Daryl.
I want to watch The Wire. I love Seinfeld too. I love Seinfeld. I'll put that at 3 because I've watched like the first three seasons when I bought it from Trevor. I watched it like 3 times just straight through, like one disc after the other.
Yeah,
I love that show.
How
too.
Seinfeld goes. I mean, do you like Game of Thrones?
Yeah, that was it. I love Game of Thrones. The Mountain and the Viper.
Mountain and the Viper. The Red Wedding.
Oh, the Red Wedding. If you haven't,
he can't spoil it because they've never watched Game of Thrones.
I want to watch Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
I don't know
what
happens on. That's a title of an episode, right? The Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding, everything goes wrong.
I know partially kind of what happens. I've heard a lot about it. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, I think I'd put Game of Thrones above The Office. So it's like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Office.
Well, my thing with The Office, and I'm like you, I've watched The Office so many times, is it's watchable to me, like seasons 4, 5, and 6. But seasons 2 and 3 are probably the best, like, seasons. I put them in like my top 10 favorite TV show seasons of all time, just because it's so good. It's just like when they finally got Jim and Pam together, it's just like it wasn't as good, and then like everything became almost too zany, so that it was almost, I don't know.
Well, I love up until Michael Scott leaves.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because Michael Scott was one of my favorites.
I'm just a snob, and I apologize to everybody. I can't help it.
I'm getting like I'm kind of like a movie snob. When people tell me like some of the movies they watch, I'm like, what are you?
I'm so bad.
What are you watching?
Oh, it's okay. I mean, there has to be people like you, you know, like.
What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, Trevor.
I say something mean about Justin every episode.
I know, he called me a murderous bastard on the last episode.
So this little thing just slides.
I guess it's a little better than calling you a murderous bastard.
I agree. I'm a snob, but I grew up on movies and TV shows, and I love it. It's probably my favorite medium. As much as I love video games, it's hard. I'm so enthralled when it comes to a good story. I can't help it. If it's got great writing, it's got me hooked, and that's why I like Breaking Bad and The Wire and The Office and Seinfeld.
Yeah, just
Better Call Saul.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to like because the first 2 episodes are so good. I just don't want to like
jinx it.
Yeah.
Which did you see it broke cable ratings?
Like, yeah, but a lot of that's because it followed Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Because the next night they put it on Monday and it dropped a lot, and I imagine I'm hoping that them putting it on Monday didn't hurt the show. But anyway, we're on to the final topic. Because I feel like this one is going to be very opinionated too. This has been a very opinionated show. This is my topic, and this is the one and only Nintendo. And our thoughts on Nintendo, and their policies, and their games, and what we think of Nintendo, and the things they do. Because no one does things like Nintendo does.
They make some good moves, then they make a lot of bad moves.
I mean, they are one of a kind. But at the same time, I don't ever want to see them leave the gaming.
Everybody loves Nintendo.
Everybody knows Nintendo. We just want Nintendo to succeed.
Well, they were our childhood.
They are our childhood.
Yeah.
They
Miyamoto, why?
I do this Justin every show.
Yes, no, I love Nintendo with all my heart. I love my 3DS. I didn't buy a new one. I will whenever I feel like I need one.
A new 3DS?
What?
Our opinions on the matter? You'll just have to wait and see.
What's in here, I wonder?
It could just be an old 3DS.
I've always loved my Nintendo consoles. They're fun, they're quirky, they have awesome games. They're a little bit different, than what you would get on your other consoles. But that's why you love, Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm Heaven is a big one.
I love Rhythm Heaven. But that is why I love Nintendo. They're different. They're not afraid to be different. And that is also one of the reasons that they also make me cringe on a daily basis. because of some of their decisions that they've made. So what do you guys think? I mean,
are you not going to tell us what you're thinking?
Trevor basically like made that his own topic.
I'm going to, but like I just wanted to hear from y'all first.
Okay, well, with Nintendo, I grew up with Nintendo. My first ever console was the NES, which is what my uncle gave me that after he graduated high school. That's how young my uncle was when I was a baby. And then I played the NES like crazy. Played like Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers with my mom. Super Mario Brothers 3, it just, like, oh my god, I love that game so much. It is so tough to decide whether that or Super Mario World is better. I mean, that will be the ongoing debate until the end of time, which Mario game is better. But Super Nintendo was my first console where I was able to play games on my own and understand what was going on. Games like Super Mario RPG, Super Mario World, I mean, just, oh my god, just the games. And then I stuck with Nintendo probably longer than I should have. I had the Nintendo 64. I think I had like 6 games on it the whole span of the Nintendo 64 career, and I played the same ones, GoldenEye, and I played WWF No Mercy over and over and over again. And then I got the GameCube, which I had tons of games on, and that was kind of like the point where I was like, I'm doing something wrong. I've got to change. Because my cousins had PlayStations, and they made fun of me all the time for sticking with Nintendo. But, I mean, I could play PlayStations with them because I love Final Fantasy and Metal Gear and all these things you guys have heard us harken on so many times. So about 2004 is when I kind of left them. And I bought every single one of their consoles. The only thing I haven't ever bought was the original DS because I had the DS Lite. I mean, the Game Boy Advance is probably my favorite handheld of all time. That or the
that SP.
Yeah, that SP because that thing saved my life. Yep. Not figuratively. I mean, not literally, but figuratively. It saved. It could have. It was thick enough. It was just. I don't know. It was just saved me from boredom. And then I have a Wii U. I just got the new Nintendo 3DS, and now I'm just waiting for Xenoblade Chronicles X, that Legend of Zelda, on that Wii U.
I hope there's some really good exclusives for the new 3DS. Like, since Xenoblade was the only thing we've heard so far, just exclusive-wise.
The only game that comes out exclusive.
Yeah, that's all we made for it.
But their policies.
Yeah.
For people
their
like
YouTube
us.
policy, for one.
Yeah, that's the problem, is this new YouTube policy, and this whole, it's like Trevor said, they do things that no one else understands. And this affects more people like us who are a smaller group that don't have the money to do what people who have giant Let's Plays do. And that's like they're like wanting us to not promote their games, it almost feels like. They just don't understand. I think it's just the problem with Nintendo is they're run by a bunch of older people who have been running Nintendo forever, and they don't realize how much the gaming market has changed.
It's hurting them more than anything.
They have terrible third-party support. They probably make the best exclusives by far, but you get 2 or 3 exclusives a year, and half of them are platformers. And I don't mind platformers, but I want to play some crazy games sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just some of my opinions. I could go on a diatribe about it forever.
I could too. Yeah, that YouTube policy is what gets me, and that's the big thing for me.
But they're very smart. They do these exclusives, like these limited amounts of Majora's Mask 3DS that everybody wanted, and they sold out in minutes. And it's like they know what they're doing, but they don't know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing marketing wise, like selling their product.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the public and like their public marketing, no.
I think eventually they'll become a third-party studio for consoles, but who knows? I hope not. I hope, you know how they are. Look what they did with the Wii. I mean, they could totally make the next console and it could sell better than the Xbox, whatever you're gonna call it. What's the next Xbox gonna be called?
Xbox 2.
That's what I was going to say. Xbox 2.
Even though it's the 4th Xbox?
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the only way they can go with the Xbox One. You gotta make like an Xbox.
Well, they did call it the Xbox One and call it the one, like that, like it's, everything's all in one.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different topic.
All in 2, I don't know.
But anyway,
we got 2 things.
What do you think, Zach? You play more Nintendo stuff than I do, so you need to bear down the hatches and explain to me your thoughts on Nintendo. And make me excited about Nintendo again, Zach. Please.
It's going to be hard to make you excited, probably. But I will try.
Okay.
One, I love Nintendo. I mean, I loved Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, probably my favorite Zelda. Loved it. Love Ocarina of Time.
What?
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
What's Ocarina?
Ocarina?
Okay.
Okay, I say Ocarina.
That's
I do too.
Potato.
I know, that's okay. We had a big debate about whether it's Titus or Titus, but that's another topic. I got proved wrong on that one. Go ahead, Zach.
I'll just say OOT. There we go.
There you go.
Love it. Never got to finish it back in the olden days, but whenever they re-released it on 3DS and everything, I was able to finish it then. So that was nice to actually do that. Now, Majora's Mask coming out, and I never got to finish it either because it's so hard.
I never got to the first dungeon.
I got stuck.
Zach, can I ask you a question real quick? I thought the first time you finished Ocarina of Time was on an emulator in Bob Lochtey's class.
It may have been. I don't remember. I know I borrowed it.
Because you and I sat back there in the back row and played Ocarina of Time every class.
That may have been the first time. I don't remember. Like, I remember borrowing the game from you, though.
I remember us sitting back there because we had our PS3 controllers hooked up and we'd have our backpacks up here.
We're taking notes.
Yeah. That may have just been me. Maybe you did play it on the 3DS.
I did play it on the 3DS. I don't remember if I finished it there or finished on the emulator first, but I love them. I plan on picking up Majora's Mask soon-ish. Yeah. I want to go through that, actually finish it. But I love the DS they did, like just how they made it. Like their marketing is smart and everything, but just a lot of their decisions are not that great. With the YouTube policy, that's hurting them more than it's hurting us. Yep. I mean, it makes it hard for us to cover Nintendo stuff for the people who do that.
Yeah, because trust me, we want to get some Smash going on in here.
Yeah.
Makes it hard to do that, but
I know.
But yeah, Smash. I love Super Smash Brothers.
Mario Kart?
I love Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Mario Kart
brings
friendships. It brings out a rage in me when I play Mario Kart.
I can't wait to play it with you.
Oh, that blue shell.
I wish that they would do a lot of different stuff too, like with their, I haven't messed with the capture card and the Wii U yet. It seems like it works well, but I know that once you get it uploaded onto the internet, that's when Nintendo steps in. But even like their handheld consoles, like you can't even take a screenshot in game on the 3DS, and that may be a small thing, but that's something that's always bothered me too, because when I did my Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire write up on the website, I had to
StatisticPixel.com. Check it out. I had to go to Google to look for images in game. I couldn't get my own images, and that's something small, but that's something that also bothers me about them. You can take a screenshot in the menu, but I don't need that.
Yeah.
Really.
So look how pretty my menu is.
Yeah.
I think it just harkens back to Nintendo being full of older people who just don't understand. It's like, what? Like, hey, I want them to release Super Mario All-Stars on the virtual consoles, but they'll release something like Ice Climbers or...
Yeah, and they don't release Pokemon or anything. Like, why not?
They are so bad with their... Oh my god.
Why can I not play Pokemon Blue on my 3DS?
Virtual console. Because they know that it'll make lots of money. Pokemon is there saving
get it.
Yeah.
Do it.
But they have to, like Justin said, they have to save it for when they really, really need it.
Pokemon's the ace in the hole.
When Nintendo is finally down and out, which they have so much money, they can make like 5 subpar consoles in a row and they'll still be around. So, but that Pokemon, those old pocket monsters, they'll pop up on those consoles.
Yeah, they have it like a drawer. That,
Okay.
I was just gonna say they probably have like the plans in a glass case with a hammer. It's like break in case of emergency.
If they released every generation on the eShop right now for like $5 to $10 each, I would probably spend about $160 today. Depending on how many, I would buy one from every generation. To have on my 3DS. I mean, why? I don't know. Would I play them? Probably not. I'd probably play one.
It's just the fact that you have them all.
I would probably play one, set them down, then play another next year.
I want another Trauma Center.
Are you sure you're okay?
I know you love those games.
You've got to
they only made one, really, and then they remade it for the Wii.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you, but everyone's talking over us.
No, y'all are having a side conversation.
No, it's John's turn.
Oh.
I was just saying, I want another Trauma Center. I would love if they made another Trauma Center game for the DS.
I've never played that.
It's
good.
It's really
See, that's what I'm saying. Like the DS and the PSP, this is like the last generation of handheld I just missed out on, and that's when I really fell out with Nintendo. I'm coming back. I'm trying to make it strong.
Trying to get.
Zach kind of helped out there, but now it's John's turn to tell me why I still need to love Nintendo, and he may hate Nintendo. So
No, I love the Nintendo, but they just do some weird stuff, like trying to make me buy a new 3DS every year.
it works though, doesn't it?
It's specifically made for you. I mean,
Well, like I'm pretty sure somewhere they're like, we gotta make John buy a new 3DS this year.
Reggie's sitting there's like, John needs a new 3DS.
Yeah.
How can we get him to get it?
Like he just has my picture on his phone. It's like,
And John's like, I am.
John's looking up to the sky.
But isn't that crazy thinking that 3DS is almost 4 years old? I mean,
and there's a new one every time.
well, I know that's
3DS,
weird, but
3DS Lite, the
3DS.
well, the SXL.
or the regular 3DS,
The 2DS.
yeah.
Yeah, 2.
I guess they have had 4 now, haven't they?
They have.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
No, it's just 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how has it already gone by that fast? So
I
we'll probably have a
know.
new Nintendo handheld in 2 years. But the smart thing Nintendo should do is just make their handheld and their home console the same thing.
Yep.
That's what should happen.
Yeah. I feel like just yesterday I got my regular Nintendo DS, just the DS, not the 3D. You know.
That
Like,
big
it's
old
cr-
bulky
yeah,
thing.
that's crazy to think that the
I think it's
3DS has
sturdy.
now been out for 4 years. I didn't even realize that until you said it.
It's just
Which y'all have already covered all my points on Nintendo. Their policies are whack and
but at the same
their
time,
marketing's awesome.
it's so weird. Their marketing, TV marketing's terrible.
Yeah, well,
When do you ever see Nintendo TV
never?
ads? Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
the Wii was the last time I've ever saw it. Ever saw one.
See, when I think of Nintendo commercials, the one I remember the most is like when they were advertising the Wavebird wireless controller on the GameCube, and like it's got this guy playing in his room, and his buddy's sick, and so it's like the kid's mom won't let him in, so he's playing outside the window, and it's like
Oh
really
my
cold
gosh.
with Wavebird wireless. Not to mention, that's just a bad mom.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's so awesome, you know.
Yeah, but their marketing from the standpoint of their games.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
make you want it.
Yeah,
They make you want it.
that's how their marketing's good, but then it's really bad because you can't get self promotions and
No.
like we couldn't throw up there like, oh, here's some gameplay of us playing Smash Bros. How are they going to sell more? Well, I mean, they're going to sell them because people's going to buy it, but.
Well, I mean, even
Like-
then, like the thing is,
Somebody can't look up. It's like what does the new Smash Bros look like, or how does it play without like Nintendo
And
stepping in
Yeah.
with the.
and the thing with Nintendo, they sell hardware, or they sell software, but the problem is, they sell so much software because the people who have Nintendo hardware are gonna buy it. It's not their games don't push consoles unless it's. I mean, Mario Kart sold well, but the Wii U, I mean, it's behind the Vita. I mean, the Vita has sold more than the Wii U. I mean, the Wii U probably is gonna barely come close to selling 20 million this generation. That's bad. I mean, the PS4 is almost to 20 million already.
But like, what games are actually like? There's not a whole lot of games out for the Wii U, and it's been out a whole lot longer.
There are a lot of games.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I haven't
just-
seen a lot.
Just a lot. I mean, a lot of them go under the
yeah,
radar.
I mean, Legend of Zelda is gonna sell a lot, but I mean, Legend of Zelda is it's not like a 10 million seller. It's gonna. I think Skyward Sword sold like 3 to 4 million copies. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Zelda games. I mean,
I
I
do
grew
too.
up
I
on
do too.
them, but I mean, it's just they've got to find that fine line. I think that they will. I think they'll figure it out. I would never count Nintendo out because I love them so much. If they had better third-party support, I'd probably still only play Nintendo games. But then I wouldn't get to play Naughty Dog games.
and then
Last
that
ones.
would be sad life.
It would be a sad life.
Not if you never knew what it was.
But you know what's not a sad life is listening to us on this podcast. The 4th episode is now complete. We are now on our way to halfway stardom, not superstardom.
Superstar.
I mean, keep checking out our YouTube page every day. We're gonna keep uploading stuff every day. More Let's Plays, hopefully, eventually. More discussions. We're focusing on a lot of discussions because we feel like we're getting better at it, and that's where we wanna focus is on getting better at discussions. So like us, follow us, share us, love us.
Yeah, because
Every
sharing
little
helps.
bit helps. I mean, it doesn't. Whether you believe it or not, it helps so much.
Because we are Sadistic Pixel, and we love you guys. And this is the point where we all point at the camera and say bye.
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 Bye.